I'm Miranda and welcome to Books 101. Today I have a thoughts on video for Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. This video will basically be spoiler galore, discussing all the spoilers in the second book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. If you're interested in the Infernal Devices trilogy and you kind of want to read it, you can check out my Clockwork Angel review, which is down below, and that's where I talk about like the first book and what basically happens in this trilogy. If you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest that you click out. Okay, let's talk Clockwork Prince. I love the Infernal Devices, and what I love more is every book in this trilogy is just something. You know how usually sometimes the second book can lag? This trilogy, none of the books lag. They're all just amazing. This is just like a great sequel. You know how I said, if you watch my Clockwork Angel review, I said in Clockwork Angel that I did not like Will. The first time I read that, I'm like, oh my god, I just don't like Will. It's in this book. This is like the deciding book. This book, when I read it the first time, made me just love Will, because we finally get to find out about Will and why, you know, he can't show love towards other people except for Jem. What did you guys think? Like, obviously this has been out for a couple of years now, but what did you guys think when you heard about Will's curse? I thought it was the strangest thing. How there was this demon in a box that he opened the box and the demon came out and it just like cursed him. I thought that was just the weirdest thing. I mean, his parents, why would you leave that stuff around the house, you know? You wouldn't just leave a demon box in the house. Wouldn't you put it under the house or something like that if you had kids in the house? Oh my god. So sad, because for all these years, you know, he couldn't show love to anyone, and then you find out that, you know, there was no curse on him and stuff like that. It's just like, oh my god, wouldn't that be just a waste of your life? He finds out that, you know, there's no curse, that he's been wasting all this time. He goes back to tell Tessa, you know, to confess his love to her, and Jem proposes right on the dot. Have come at a better time. I absolutely love Jem. I think Jem's a gem. He is just such a wonderful, beautiful guy, and you know, I was happy when he proposed to Tessa, especially how he did it. I mean, romantic. His words to come out of a guy's mouth is just amazing. It's like, and then I love when he says, I can offer you my life, but it's a short life. I can offer you my heart, though I have no idea how many more beats it shall sustain. But I love you enough to hope that you will not care that I am being selfish in trying to make the rest of my life, whatever it's left, happy by spending it with you. I want to be married to you, Tessa. Oh god, shit. You know, like guys don't say things like that nowadays. It's just like proposing is just like drop on one knee, will you marry me? Look at Jem, he's a babe. Like, the cover model is actually how I pictured Jem in the book. I think they just look so alike. But what I really thought, even before, like when I read this for the first time, even before I knew he was going to propose, I had this feeling when Jem, Will and Tessa went to Starkweather, I had this feeling, you know, when they were on the train and he gave Tessa the family ring because they all pretended to be like engaged and married. I was like, yes, something's going to go down here. What did you think of Jessamine? She's just the biggest douchebag, that girl. I mean, she's just so stupid. You know, she sneaks out in guy clothing to see Nate. And then, you know, when Tessa kind of disguises herself and you see that, you know, they're actually like married and stuff like that, it's like, girl, can't you see that this dude is just like using you? Girl's just so blind. I feel like just slapping her in the face. It's well deserved when Sophie hits her on the head. I love that. I thought that was just the best moment. What did you think when Will and Tessa made it on that frickin' balcony? Wasn't that a scene in itself? That was just so funny. But it's so funny how Magnus, you know, like caught them, because, you know, Tessa's all like, you know, back into herself and she's all over the place, all over Will. And that was said that they had these drinks and stuff like that and they were spiked, but in actual fact I don't think they were. But oh my god, their makeout scenes, Tessa and Will's makeout scenes are just the bomb. Oh, but you know what was really cool in this book that we found out? You know how when, you know, Jessamine goes to the Silent City because, you know, she's betrayed, you know, them and everything, her initials, like in the Mortal Instruments we find out the JG are actually in the Mortal Instruments and they're actually her initials. So now you know the initials in the Silent City belong to her, which I thought was really cool. And I really love, like, in this trilogy, things like come together. In this book we are introduced to the Lightingwood brothers. And, you know, Gabriel, I hate the dude. He is just, oh, so in. I feel kind of sorry for him because I think it's the way he's been brought up and the values his dad's kind of taught him. But I really, really hate him. I can't stand it. With Gideon, I really enjoy Gideon. Especially his little relationship with Sophie. But I hate how Sophie keeps thinking, oh, I'm a maid, who cares? One of the cutest moments in this book was when Charlotte and Henry actually confessed that they really did love each other, because to run an institute, you know, Charlotte had to be married. And I actually loved the scene where they confessed to love to each other and how they, you know, didn't just get married to run this institute. They actually got married because they really loved each other, and I love that bit about this book. I think Henry and Charlotte are just the cutest thing. You know, she's so head smart, and Henry's just like the woohoo in the relationship. You know what I find really funny in this book? Sometimes, you know, when Jem speaks, he's Chinese and stuff like that. It's so awkward because it's like you're reading gibberish. When Jem does, you know, talk in his language, you guys like skim read it, or do you actually read it? Because I don't know how to read it. I just tend to skim read. What did you think of the dramatic moment when Tessa used the poker, the fireplace, to burn herself? That girl in that poker, I tell you, even in like Clockwork Princess, she always uses a freaking poker. That was like, I get it that you love both guys and you're really, really torn, but girl, you did not have to do that. Grow up a little. Find out that Mortman's parents are warlocks, and they adopted him and created these like kind of automations to kill all the shadow hunters. This book, I love how it ends, how Will's sister kind of comes at the door. I thought, oh my gosh, and the first time I read this I was so excited for the next one. That's the end for my mini thoughts on video for the middle book in Infernal Devices, Clockwork Prince. Tell me your thoughts down below. What did you think about this book? I will be doing a longer video for this, for Clockwork Princess, because there's more to talk about in Clockwork Princess than there is Clockwork Prince. But tell me what you thought down below and let me know. I'm Miranda, thank you so much for watching. See ya!